movies. We watch movies. You listen to us talk about movies that we watched without you.
It's beautiful.
Thanks.
Hey, Adam, how you doing?
Doing well.
Doing a mic check here. 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Mic check. Mic check.
Adam?
Can you make sure that this is the sound of me getting core hydrated?
Yes.
Gets recorded?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Wow. It's got electrolytes and it tastes good. Oh, core hydration is better than sex. Use the promo code FILMS.
What do you get with that promo code,
Yeah,
Adam?
why do you get the promo code?
Oh, you get extra pH. Usually you only get 7.4. Then they crank it up to 10 and it starts eating away at your mouth.
But isn't 7.4 the perfect pH?
Yeah, but if 7.4 is good, more is better. You know it.
Oh. Well, then
Adam,
I'm gonna use
where
that.
can I go get core hydration water in the store?
Oh, man. Usually I just go to the Ticket Studios and steal one.
Do they have it at 7-Eleven?
Also at participating cons.
What cons are in participation?
The one in Farmers Branch.
The Farmers Branch Con. Have you ever been there, Spencer?
Yeah, pretty. I visit there pretty regularly.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great location.
Mm-hmm.
They've got
Spencer
stuff.
collects rare VGA cables.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think the am I mistaking cons with like a rent-a-center type of deal?
No, it's like a buy-a-center.
Oh, well then no, I've never been there.
Okay. Well, sparkling core hydration water for your local stores and Applebee's today.
Hey.
In or now.
Applebee. Hey, guess what? There's going to be a special little films twist to this.
Oh.
At the very end.
Uh-huh.
Cons! This is an ad for cons.
Yeah. This is a roundabout way
You
to talk about
thought
cons.
it was an ad for core hydration.
But we fooled you.
Psych.
We
Yep.
fooled you. You done being goofed. How you doing, Adam?
I'm doing all right, Trey. How are you?
I'm great. How you doing, Spencer?
Cloud 9.
Cloud9. Bada bing.
I'm on it.
Wow.
He's on it.
Top of the world.
Never
Yeah.
been better.
Doing the thing that the people do.
Doing that new thing.
Hey Trey, what is this? What am I listening to?
Well, you're listening right now with your little ears to Super FilmsCast 64, the podcast where we talk about films.
Films.
There you go. That's Spencer's
That's
films.
my first films.
That
I
is your
think.
first films.
The number of times I've done this.
Yeah, you're now one of us. You're
Hell
a
yeah,
true
films.
host.
One
True
of
host.
us.
That's another film reference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They come fast and furious with me. Do you want me to do more?
Yeah, do more. Just keep
Swing
going.
vote.
Keep going. Sling Blade.
Well, I wasn't just going to name
I
it.
don't want your life. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yabba Dabba Doo. That was John Goodman.
Exactly, and the Flintstones.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that movie?
The Flintstones?
Yeah.
Is that the one with Stephen Baldwin, or is that the second one with Stephen Baldwin? Where they do Viva Rock Vegas.
Viva Rock Vegas, of course.
It's always Vegas is the second one every time for some reason.
Hey Trey, is there someone
true.
who may, want to say something about the person who played Betty Rubble in that movie?
Is there a person?
Oh, who played Betty Rubble, Trey?
I don't remember.
Oh, I think it was Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh, Rosie O'Donnell was
And
in that.
Is there
Yeah.
someone who may want to say something about her acting performance in that?
Do you want to say something?
No, is there? But I think I know someone.
Is
who
there
would.
Spencer? Is it Spencer?
Do I want to say something about Betty Rubble?
Yeah.
About Rosie
Rosie
O'Donnell?
O'Donnell.
Oh,
You have a
I
vendetta.
know someone who really dislikes Rosie
Yeah,
O'Donnell.
I know
Who?
someone.
Who could that be?
Larry David.
Oh, he does. Larry. No, he don't.
They
No,
got
no.
in a
Oh, I
fight.
see what you're saying. I see where you're going. And you're right. Rosie O'Donnell Rosie O'Donnell.
You're right.
Oh man,
She's
you
a
can lead a horse to water and he will drink eventually. You can lead a horse to core hydration water and he will drink immediately.
I feel like this podcast is just it's a good deal.
Austin told me that you told him that we bully you.
You do. You are bullies.
Well,
You're mean.
In which way?
You're the bullies.
Tell us how we bully you, or we'll take your lunch money.
You make me do voices I don't want to do anymore.
The trick is we're gonna take your lunch money either way.
I know. You guys are tough. You're tough looking. You're tough kids. I'm intimidated by the toughness.
Trey, what you been watching?
Hey, Adam, how you doing? This is the Super FilmsCast 64.
Ooh,
this is the show where we talk about movies and films. We got Adam and Spencer in here, and we're going to talk about what we've been watching.
Yep.
So I watched L.A. Confidential recently. Just another movie, randomly watched. And it's very 90s, but it's very good.
So random.
Well, it was for a video I'm working on, so it's
What
somewhat
specifically?
random.
What video game?
Metal Gear Solid 2, the video I've been working on for 3 months and barely started editing. Actually, it's kind of it's picked up. It's not a very good video. If I was really smart, I'd go back and rewrite it, but I just want to get it done with.
Mm-hmm.
But it's getting there, getting to be done.
It's good to be proud of your work.
Yeah, it's really good to be proud of your work, especially when you hate it. So I watched that movie, and it's good. It's a lot less twisty and turny than I thought it would be, but it's pretty good. I mean, Russell Crowe's in it, looking like Steve Bannon, and
that's a good description of
Steve Bannon look now.
Recent Russell Crowe.
Yeah, he kind of looks like a anti-Semite.
That was back.
Ouch. That's harsh words for Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe's been flying too high around. I was listening to a podcast today with Taron Killam from Saturday Night Live. He was on it, and he talked about how when Russell Crowe was on SNL, there was a scene where he was like a ghost of Henry VIII, and he was like, "Oh, it'd be really funny if I like chased a girl and wanted to do cunnilingus on her to end the scene. That's how we need to end it." And everyone was like, "Please don't do it. Please don't do it." And then apparently, if you watch the clip of it, he like sprints off to go like grab A.D. Bryant, and then they like very quickly cut to something else when it ends. Russell Crowe seems like a cool guy. He threw a phone at somebody.
He seems like an awesome guy. I would love to hang out with Russell Crowe.
I definitely would if I were A.D. Bryant, but like I was myself.
Yeah.
I would be down for that. Some pretend
he's trying to
stuff.
lick your pussy.
I mean, your words, not mine. But yeah.
Yeah, you'd be down for that, for Russell Crowe?
But only pretend.
What if it was Harvey Weinstein?
Here we go.
Getting right into it.
Topical.
I mean, no.
Me too.
Okay.
Harvey Weinstein's a gross man.
But he's powerful.
Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe is
looks
total
like someone.
package.
Yeah, so it looks like someone took a bike pump to the Master and Commander guy, just kind of unevenly filled him up with it.
He doesn't look that great nowadays.
It has those little little blow up holes, but there's a bunch all over, and someone like started with his forearms, and then they're like, "Oh, I'll move over to like his thigh," and so it's just kind of like all uneven, wonky.
Yeah, he's not doing too well. I've never been a huge Russell Crowe guy. I don't know. I've never really had an opinion about him one way or the other, I guess.
I think he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine, but
he was Gladiator
as an actor.
Is that right?
Yep, Gladiator's great.
Yeah.
Anything else, Russell Crowe?
Beautiful Mind.
Master and Commander.
Yeah, Master and Commander.
Yeah.
He was in
Nice Guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was good in the Nice Guys.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give him that. He gets a point for that. The Nice Guys.
Yeah, that just reaffirms I would definitely let him lick me.
Okay. Well, we know where Spencer stands on that.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, very nice guy. It was a good movie. It was very noirish, but it also felt very 90s. Maybe that's just because...
It was.
Yeah, and also just the big 90s actors are in it, like Russell Crowe and Kevin Spacey and Guy Pearce and all those 90s actors are in it. So.
And they're just wearing like Nirvana shirts and with their Tamagotchis.
Yeah.
Except one of them's a Pearl Jam guy.
And they're just watching Beavis and Butthead, all that. Yeah, it's great. MTV, Spice Girls. I'm just naming things now. Pogs.
Wow. Yeah, just name all these fun 90s things. This will get people going crazy.
90s kids know.
How are you spelling Pogs?
Oh, only 90s kids will know.
Which Pogs are we talking about, Trey?
Trey doesn't get it.
I don't get it.
Trey doesn't like porn.
Oh. Is that a porn reference?
No. It's not. Sorry, Dad.
Anyway.
What else did you watch?
I finished season 3 of Fargo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I talked to Austin about that a bit on the GamesCast.
I listened to that.
Oh,
discussion.
You did?
I did.
How'd you like the discussion? Review the discussion.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Austin only mentioned Mary Elizabeth Winstead's butt once, which seems low for someone who talks about it. Whether or not there's a Fargo discussion going on, he'll just be like, hey, Mary Elizabeth Winstead's butt. And I'll be like, and nice to see you today, too. Let's see, what else did you talk about? You talked about all kinds of stuff. Oh, Lorne Malvo was the guy's name that you couldn't remember for the longest time.
Well, you
that
know
was Billy
me,
Bob
Adam.
Thornton's.
You know I'm bad at names.
Yeah. All kinds of stuff. Go check out Super Gamescast. You know what? It's about time that there's a little bit of crossover. Go check out Super
not
Gamescast.
Enough of that.
They talk about a TV show for a long time, but don't you ever expect us to talk about a fucking video game.
You can talk about video games all you want. I don't ever see you play video games, though, Adam.
Hey, Adam, how about FIFA? You want to talk about sports games?
Oh, man. I won this FIFA game today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Keep talking about it. This is your show now.
No, I don't. I don't want to. I want to hear about Jackie Chan.
Hey, well, no, guys. Here's one.
Yeah.
What do you call Harley Quinn and wearing a parka? Fargo Robbie.
That's one that you can tell your parents. Well, if your dad gets past that porn joke, he's gonna like that one.
But there are a couple sexually explicit jokes he's gonna have to work through. I'm talking about Russell Crowe licking my butt.
Is this the one you show your parents? Is this the podcast you finally show the parents?
This is the one.
Mom and Dad,
Papa.
This is what I've been doing every Monday night. This is it.
This is why I haven't returned your phone calls.
It'd be pretty fun if you're painting the house with Lexi's dad and Lexi just has her phone on shuffle.
But we put on that podcast.
Yeah, the one.
No, that Lexi sent a picture of me sitting in the chair the first time I was here, and this was like peak bean cutting off discussions. So we have this family group chat, and she sent a picture of me in the chair with the mic and everything. They're like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh no, I can't say because then I know what they will say after that. But I said it, recording a podcast at the Ticket Studios. John says, love to hear it sometime. I didn't reply. He'll have to just listen through every podcast on iTunes to find it.
Yeah, don't ever show your parents this.
Yeah, there's a picture circulating of me at improv practice, and they're like, haha, this bit will make me laugh for a while. I was being a guy at the state fair who was fucking a pie, and I did it for like a real long time.
Yeah.
And I had lunch with my mom today, and she's like, what's that picture of you that has everybody laughing?
Can you reenact it? I missed that.
I missed it too.
Yeah,
I saw the picture. I didn't know the context.
Yeah, so you just kind of go and you have a little subtle little thrusts, and you go and you talk about this booth is sponsored by the Toyota Tundra, and you can get it. It's got good gas mileage, and I did that for like 15 minutes.
All right.
For
not on the show, just in practice.
For who is it in the Princess Bride? Is it Mel Brooks who plays the old witch doctor? Who is it that plays the old witch doctor?
Oh, yes, I believe.
Well, for the listeners, Adam was hunched over like Mel Brooks from The Princess Bride, just like an old man who's been leaning over for 35 years.
Wait, is it Billy Crystal?
It might be Billy Crystal.
Yeah, I think it's Billy Crystal.
I've only seen the first half of The Princess Bride.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Trey. Trey, it's great.
I've only seen the first half like 5 times.
You've watched the first half
Why?
5 times?
We've
Just
watched it
the second
5
half.
times at school. Like in high school, they put it on every time, and I've only seen like the first half.
And you've never been interested enough to say, you know what, I'll watch that second half.
It is
not.
Billy Crystal.
I don't even. Is Billy Crystal in the second half? Or what am I
Yes.
thinking? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen Billy Crystal in it.
Well, you wouldn't know that it's Billy Crystal from looking at him.
I
but
just
his
see
voice is
fake
very...
Bob doing the getting poisoned. I think that's probably the only. I forgot the actor's name, but the nerdy one, yeah, fake Bob does. I see like that scene where he gets poisoned every time, and that's about it. That's the only scene I've seen.
You should finish it. It's a good movie.
It is.
All right, I'll finish it. So, okay, I will. Jeez.
All right, where were we?
We were talking about Fargo.
Fargo. It was good. It wasn't my favorite season, but it was still pretty good.
Nope.
No?
No, I said no. It's not the best season of Fargo.
Okay.
It is. I think it's by far the worst, but it's still good.
Yeah, it's still a good little show. And Varga is a disgustingly good villain. I thought he was great.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yes. And I watched 2 more episodes of The Good Place, and I watched I just finished episode 6 of Mind Hunters.
Oh man, you've been busting through them since this morning when we talked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Could have been watching The Good Place.
Yeah, I could have been doing that.
But you watched 2 episodes, so thank you
2 more
for that.
episodes. So I watched 4 actually 2.5, 1.5.
Why?
So 4 in total. 3.5 in total.
What's up with you and watching half things?
You know, I'm a busy guy, Spence.
Especially episode 4 is great.
Yeah. He had to watch 6 Mindhunter episodes in one day.
Yeah.
I'm just
gonna start watching the crappiest shows just to piss you off. And only like one half episode of The Good Place.
Yeah, and then 10 episodes of Castle.
Yeah.
And then like minutes
115
through 125 of Princess Bride.
Yeah. And I just watched
I got
Blade Runner
rewatch
5 more times.
Yeah, I got to rewatch 9 JKL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Chris the Fields actually sent us a
big thing about Psych.
Yeah, if we want to read that quickly. Oh, actually, he just did a thing. Hold on, let me try to find that pic he sent. Little pic. Talks amongst yourselves. So oh my God, Spencer told me that you didn't like Mindhunter.
I'm not a big fan.
You're not a big fan.
I think that the acting of the guys who play the serial killers is awesome.
Yeah.
I think that everything else about it is kind of lame.
Mm-hmm.
It's shot really well. I mean, it's Fincher, so it's got that Fincher color palette, and
audio is really good. The kind of
that.
uneasy background noise of the Fincher kind of movies, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't think it's bad. I just would not necessarily recommend it to someone.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's a lot of other shows that I would want people to watch before I would say, give Mindhunter a shot.
Like what shows?
Like The Leftovers.
Okay, yeah, it's a great show.
What
I didn't know
else?
if you meant in like the same genre, or not. Or you're saying that specifically. Okay.
Well, but I mean, there's just only so much time that people have for shows, and I think that, like it's not even full hours for every episode, so there's 10, so it's not a huge time drain. I would maybe suggest that they just watch the scene with the co-ed killer from episode 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. He's
then you're kind of
okay.
meh. I don't like the guy who looks like. There's a guy who looks like Glenn Howerton from It's Always Sunny.
Uh-huh.
The main dude, Holden, who I guess is in Hamilton.
Yeah, he was in Glee as well. He's kind of a singer.
Yeah, he looks almost exactly.
Is there singing in this show?
Yeah, tons of it.
Oh.
And then the other guy who looks like Rex Ryan.
Yeah, he's a intimidated fella.
Bill. And then the big co-ed killer who looks like Eric Wareheim.
Eric Wareheim.
And
I've not seen Eric. Who's Eric Wilheim?
Eric Wareheim looks like the guy that I just told you about.
Did you watch Master of None?
No.
Or
he's in Tim and Eric.
Okay, cool.
I was gonna say
Trey's,
I wasn't gonna say Tim and Eric because typically I know Tim and Eric.
Right.
Like,
I know Tim and Eric.
He's the big one.
Okay.
He's the big boy.
Anyway, go on.
That's pretty much it. I just watched the scenes with that dude, and
is there any more interesting scenes though? Because I just finished episode 6, and they're about to talk to another guy.
It's pretty frustrating, actually.
Really?
It's just like not super interesting to me. They're constantly just kind of putting blocks in their way with like, hey, you can't say naughty words when you're interviewing these people and stuff like that. And it's like, don't really care. There's not really any conflict.
Yeah, it sort of seems like, because there are a few things where I was expecting to happen, and I guess this is based on 2 real people. I guess a real thing.
Yeah, the 2 guys who like coined the term serial killer.
Yeah, and like Silence of the Lambs, all that is based on those guys. I mean, I think it's interesting. And I think those people in general are interesting, and I took a whole class on kind of what they're talking about and the whole how to determine if someone is a psychopath and all that criteria, and that's fascinating to me. But yeah, there's certain things where it felt like there was going to be a conflict. Like, I thought him and the doctor were gonna the woman doctor they're working with, the main guy and him were gonna have some kind of like affair. Well, obviously after season 6 they're not.
Episode 6.
Yeah, episode 6. I mean, after episode 6 they're not. So there's like certain things where I think, oh, they're gonna go this way, and they don't. And like, I thought the whole thing was gonna be with the co-ed killer, that he was gonna form like a bond or a friendship with this guy, and the whole thing was gonna get weird. But it doesn't seem like that's the case. So,
right.
Yeah.
It got renewed for a second season, and basically the whole first season is setting up the BTK killer.
Okay.
So
I'm sure they're gonna go with Bundy and
Manson. I don't know. I think they kind of get off on not using the big stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just a super slow burn, and none of the characters I think are very interesting. There's a big like relationship thing with the dude and his girlfriend that's not interesting.
Yeah, I don't find that interesting.
So there's better things to watch.
Sure. I find it fascinating because I like the subject material, but I could definitely see it's a little slow, and if it kind of seems like it's going nowhere, and I hope it does. Watching it, I hope it goes somewhere, but I just want them to talk to more serial killers, honestly.
Yep, that's the best part.
Yeah, that's really all I wanted, and there's like 2 episode gaps of nothing, and then they'll talk to one guy, and then the second guy they talked to wasn't interesting at all because he was out of pure instinct. It wasn't a thought, it wasn't that weird. You know who I'm talking about? The second guy who kind of just killed randomly. Yep. It wasn't that, premeditated, weird, psychotic neuroses. It was just whatever. So, more the co-ed guy. More of that. That was great. Anyway, what have you guys been watching?
Well, let's see. I've been watching.
Actually, let me read this thing quickly from Chris the Fields about Psych. Now that we're 23 minutes into a podcast where we haven't even gotten to what we're talking about. So, I lost it.
God damn it, Trey.
Chris is going to be pissed.
He's going to be pissed. I'm sorry, Chris. So, Chris says, corrections on Psych for Trey, Adam, and the Spencers podcast.
So this, we brought up that there's going to be a Psych movie.
Yeah.
And we were kind of trying to figure out what exactly Psych was.
Uh-huh. And so Chris writes, Psych is a TV comedy that features characters Sean Spencer and Burt Guster. Sean is reckless.
Burt Guster is a terrible name.
Yeah. Sean is reckless.
Sounds like something you'd come up on Hello Blank or for okay.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Burt Guster.
Burt Guster.
What's the first name we can think of?
Sean is reckless, Fox sidekick, while Gus is the logical but often cowardly sidekick. So they're both sidekicks. The 2 of them run a private detective agency and solve cases, typically dealing with homicide. Each episode of the show is pretty formulaic, with nearly every case somehow following the same plot points and twists every time. However, the show did have a cult following while it aired and was still a fun watch regardless. Fun fact, it is my favorite TV show.
I like how he gave it the glowing review of,
all
of the episodes are exactly the same. It's very formulaic. It's also my favorite.
His favorite.
Hey, what do you call it when you finish an entire case of Sabra in one sitting? Homicide.
What have you been watching, Adam?
Let's see. I've been watching the ones that I've been going through Breaking Bad, halfway through the final season, so I'll be done with that soon. Nathan, for you, had another good episode. Curb Your Enthusiasm had another pretty good episode.
Watched that episode too.
And then, let's see, I watched all of Mindhunter, and I watched a little movie called Battle of the Sexes.
Okay, how'd you like that?
I did not.
You didn't?
I did not.
Hated it.
I did not hate it.
Thought it was terrible.
It is the blandest, most vanilla thing, and it's really proof that you should not make biopics about people while they are still alive, because they're going to water it down as much as they can. So, okay, so do you know anything about Battle of the Sexes?
I know it was a famous tennis player and then some other dude, and she was really for female rights and all that stuff, and he was trying to get her goat because he was a sale. Like, he was kind of a wise guy, and he was trying to. It was all a publicity stunt, right? They were trying to play tennis together. He said that a girl cannot beat a guy in tennis,
right? And
they battled
to
the death.
Okay, so also Billie Jean King is like known for being like a whatever feminism and a lesbian and all that sort of thing. And so every single thing that you have in your mind about what this movie is going to be is exactly what it is. It's kind of nothing the whole time. No surprises, nothing really that deep. Like, she goes and she has a husband, and she's been like fooling around with her hairdresser or whatever, and the guy figures it out, and he's just kind of like, cool. I'm cool with it. I understand, like, you need your space, and this is a thing. And it's like, because she's still alive, that guy's still alive, and they still have like a pretty good relationship. So they're not gonna. Where, like, if it's a movie, even if that's what happened in real life, make it a moment of conflict. There's never anything that really gets in the way of anything the entire movie. And then it goes and she wins the match. And the dude, who in real life was kind of like legitimately insane and just kind of doing things for, you know, promotions and making money, but they didn't like, and they show that side, but it also makes it not that interesting if you're going into a match where you're like, oh, this guy's not training, he's just taking a bunch of pills and he's gonna wear this big old jacket. Okay, cool. It's so
it wasn't much of a story.
The ending's never in doubt. The story is not super interesting. Sarah Silverman is bad in it. It's just so boring and vanilla and cookie cutter. I would have rather watched something way worse.
Yeah. Was the acting pretty good?
The acting was fine. Steve Carell's pretty funny in it. Emma Stone is fine.
Was like Steve Carell serious, or was he like kind of his wacky self?
It was his wacky Steve Carell, because the guy's like a degenerate gambler and all that kind of stuff. So
okay,
that's what I've been watching.
All right, Spencer.
I've been watching The Usual, The Good Place.
Oh, what's
Nathan.
that about?
It's let me tell you later.
I don't think we have time.
It's The Good Place, Nathan For You, Curb. I watched Do the Right Thing.
Okay.
I walked into our living room and Lexi had it on.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why she was watching it, but so I missed like the first quarter of the movie.
Isn't she doing a thing where she's like watching Criterion movies and stuff like that?
She might be doing that.
I think that's one that is.
That is a Criterion collection. Yeah.
And it's in
I have that Criterion.
It's in like the National Film Registry.
Yeah,
it's reserved for cultural significance, and it was awesome. It's a great movie.
Yeah,
I want to watch like the first quarter, but I mean,
you forgot the famous Samuel L. Jackson beginning, the whole wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
I didn't get because then he's not in it for a while,
right?
So I didn't get Samuel L. for a long time. I was like, oh snap, Samuel L. Jackson's in this movie. Thank God, Samuel L.'s great. Was it? He's like Senior Love something.
Yes, yeah, it's like some DJ.
Yeah. And the riot's happening, and he strips off all of his clothes in like a half a second. It's like, get it, Sam.
It's a good movie. I remember not liking it the first time I saw it because we watched it in college, and I just remember hating every single character. And I think I've told this story on the podcast. But then the professor was explaining that all the characters kind of represented certain things, and okay, I can dig this more. because they weren't really characters more than they were different sects of society or people in society or certain mindsets.
Right. Yeah. It's showing. Each character is basically showing the repercussions of hatred and bigotry.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, for the most part, that's what happened.
I also don't know if there's a movie that it does better of making it look really hot.
Yeah.
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 Like they
are miserable.
That's a huge point in the movie, but it's done really well.
Yeah.
These people are just very hot.
Everyone's wearing seemingly like cyclist outfits.
Yeah, right.
And if they're not, they're old men and they're sweating through their suits.
Yep.
And Gus Fring's in it. Yeah, he's in it too. Isn't he the who did he play? Gus Fring was.
I can't remember.
I think he was one of the kids.
Yeah, I would have to go back and look.
I think so.
But no, I thought it was great, and the like just the ending. I think it does such a good job of showing like this crazy violence. All this madness erupts into violence, and in the end, we're all losers.
Right. Yeah. There's no one really to blame.
Right.
It's just kind of everybody.
Right. It doesn't paint anyone. I mean, except for like obviously the officers are just objectively wrong. And,
right.
But like as far as the actual like the main characters, like no one group of characters or no one character is painted as objectively right, objectively wrong. It's like, like we're all losers here because we're just hating each other.
Though Spike Lee always asks people, do you think he did the right thing? And he would say that white people would say no and black people would say yes.
Well, no, what he said is that only white people ask if Mookie did the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Only white. It's like, no one else asks him that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I really liked that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lexi and I also watched It Follows.
Yeah, that's a really good movie.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
That and The Babadook were like the two best horror movies in like 2 years, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, Babadook was really good as well. It Follows. I think I liked the premise more. There were some things that were like kind of some cheesy parts, but other than that, I thought the concept was really cool, and I like things that are for no reason other than it is, like I don't need this whole backstory as far as like what started it. Like we got to go find it out. It's like, no, this is just happening and you got to deal with it. And there's no motive.
Just kind of stalking. Yeah, I liked it a lot too. It was a good film. Did you see It Follows, Adam?
I did not.
You should watch it this Halloween.
I don't watch scary movies, Trey.
You don't? Why not?
We'll get into it later.
Well,
we'll talk about it a little.
Did you have news? Or
I have some news.
All right,
and we'll do that first.
We'll get some news.
All right, news. Box office starting off.
News.
First, Happy Death Day, 26.5 million.
Yeah.
Then Blade Runner, 15.
No, it fell off really badly, didn't it?
It's not that bad of a fall off for a second week. It's just didn't start from a bunch to begin with. But 15 million, that's almost more than I would expect, because it seems like a movie where the people that want to see it would have already seen it.
I bet there's a lot of word of mouth going on, though.
Do you think?
Everyone I hear talk about it is raving about it. I don't hear.
Except for Soroy.
Yeah, except for Mike Soroy. I don't hear anybody panning it except for Mike Soroy. Like, everybody is saying, go see this movie.
Well, see, I don't know. I think you're kind of echo chambering there.
Maybe. I might be.
I think that it's generally for like film people, it would be that. But I think for the most part, people will be like, oh, it's long. It's long and it's boring and I don't understand it and I get it, not Mike Soroy. Buddy.
I guess. Hey, Mike Soroy, buddy. I guess. I mean, I listen to a lot of people in the game industry and the film industry, so I guess, it's echo chambery.
Just a different sort of deal.
Sure.
The Foreigner, 12.8 million.
Okay. I haven't seen that yet. I didn't know if you thought I had seen it.
I did. I did think you'd seen it.
Okay, no, I did
not. Just an interesting thought. How would things be different if Jackie Chan went by Jack Chan?
His career would have ended in the 80s.
Would have been
it would have been long gone.
Washed out.
Terrible.
Jack Chan?
Jack Chan.
Who cares about Jack Chan?
Think about Oh gosh, what's that cartoon he did with the talisman?
Jackie Chan Adventures.
Jackie Chan Adventures. Jack Chan Adventures, and old grandpa goes, Jack! No. It's Jackie!
Yeah.
Think about
like John
that.
Carter from Mars.
Yeah.
It never would. John Carter from Mars is boring and nobody sees it. Johnny Carter? Now that's something I can get behind.
Oh, yeah.
Stick my teeth into Johnny Carter.
Or Disney Channel original John Tsunami?
Yeah.
No one wants John Tsunami. No. Everyone wants Johnny Tsunami.
So good call.
Put him in a body bag, John. No.
That's a good call by the Jackie Chan Chandlers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
New Star Wars trailer.
Yeah. It's a new trailer, man. You happy? You excited?
Oh boy, I finally got to see that Porg in action.
Dude, that Porg, man.
How do you spell Porg?
P-O-R-G. Porg.
Yeah.
And he's screaming.
He's gonna sell a lot of toys.
He's
buddy.
worried.
He is a new toy in action.
I see people already talking about how much they love Porgs.
Everyone just loves the Porgs now. Which, you know what? They might be racist. You don't know that.
The Porgs could be racist?
They could be racists.
They're not. The Porgs aren't going to be racist.
Yes, they are.
Are they capable of
Jar Jar
racism?
was racist.
Was he?
How was Jar Jar racist?
Please.
Jar Jar was all about inclusion.
Explain.
You want me to do a Jar Jar voice to explain it?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't ask.
Do it after
but
he gets his tongue stuck in the pod.
Jar Jar was a very bad racial stereotype, and everybody knows that.
Well,
of what?
But that's not being.
I'm just saying,
racist.
In general, it's a racist character.
Jar Jar?
Oh, so the character, like the writers were racist. The way they wrote him, the character himself was not a racist.
No, he was not a racist,
Okay.
but he was depicted very racially, I guess.
That's just a free spirit?
He's just a free spirit. You know what I'm saying.
I don't.
Because he says Misa?
Misa Master Skywalker.
That's not what he.
That's what he says.
That's not what
so
he
you're
sounds
equating
like, though.
Misa to Massa?
Maybe.
I disagree.
Annie, I've been so good to your mother.
Oh, see,
it's
now
racist too.
Now you're talking about the racist.
That's
All right.
racist. No, I see a Porg and I just think it's just another way for them to get toys made.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally what it is.
I did like your reaction video to my reaction video.
Yeah,
though.
Trey put out a reaction video where he didn't do anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I narrated him not doing anything. And I did not watch yours beforehand.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, this will be funny. And then you didn't say anything. And I was like, I spent the time to do it. Might as well post it.
Here's a question. Do we think anyone has a Porg tattoo yet?
Oh, I'm sure there is someone.
Guaranteed.
Guarantee you.
100%.
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
You know what? I could probably Google it right now. Porg tattoo.
Yeah, while you're doing that,
something.
Adam, what's next?
Well,
Actually,
Spencer
you haven't even seen the commercial yet, or the trailer yet. You should watch it.
Yeah, we were thinking about doing a live reaction vid.
Go for it.
I feel like we got a lot to talk about, and I don't want to watch
Porg tattoos.
Oh, there's a lot.
Oh, my God.
There you go. That's Star Wars for you.
All right, so there's the Star Wars poster. Luke's in the
someone
back.
got an Ezekiel Elliott tattoo.
Cool. It's an Ewok. That's racist.
You go
you're
on
gonna say that Jar Jar's racist.
Did you write Jar Jar?
Maybe.
In the Star Wars poster, Luke's in the back. The bad guy's always in the back.
Yeah, I saw that. I figured that Luke was going to be the bad guy.
Is this why they're so mad
He's really mad.
about how Rian Johnson saw his character?
Yeah. Probably.
He's
He wants to be the hero. No, that's his whole thing. He wants to be the hero. Because he was the hero in the trilogy, the first trilogy.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that. I think he's just going to be reluctant because I think whatever he trained Kylo Ren, and then Kylo Ren's going to be bad, and he's like, I don't want to train somebody else if they're going to be bad, and he's just going to be more
the power converters.
Yeah, he's going to be more like a puss than a bad guy. So
yeah,
I don't.
Oh, I think he's changing his voice too because, like, in real life, he is such has a nerdy sounding voice.
Why'd you chop off my hand?
Hey guys, I'm the Joker in the cartoons. He's kind of. Is he?
He is always saying that.
Yeah.
Did you see the Black Panther trailer?
No, I don't. Actually, I might have.
It caught me off guard.
I've seen a Black Panther trailer.
I didn't know that there was going to be a Black Panther movie. I really don't follow Marvel movies, and so when it came out, this is a Black Panther movie. It was definitely surprising.
It looks all right.
Yeah, it looks okay.
I like Coogan a lot, from Fruitvale Station to Creed and all that kind of stuff. I like his stuff. I may or may not go see it.
Yeah, I don't know. I really have not seen. I
thought it was a much better trailer than the Star Wars trailer.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen any of the Avengers movies. I've seen. I saw Iron Man 1 and 2. I've seen The Winter Soldier, I think. Other than that, not really. I haven't seen any. It's just I'm just tired of. I'm not interested in them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Sylvester Stallone's going to direct Creed 2.
Cool.
He directed a bunch of the Rocky movies already.
Is he going to be in it?
Got the Academy Award, right, for Best Director for Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
So he's
a screenwriter for Rocky, I think.
Okay.
I think
he didn't direct it.
Detective Pikachu is going to start filming in 2018.
What?
Sweet.
Detective Pikachu?
Yes.
You know.
What?
Pika!
You know how Pikachu is always solving crime.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of in the vein of True Detective.
So it's going to be Pikachu is lead.
Pika.
A character who can only say his name is
Pikachu.
lead.
Right, and he's solving some sort of crime.
Hey man, Pika.
So are there subtitles, or we're just what?
You're just following along for a great time.
Pikachu.
So we're just going to have to.
What did you find there?
Oh,
Pika.
okay.
Pika. It's a severed head. Pika. Pikachu. It looks like she was brutally raped.
This is your best impression
That's
yet.
That's what Meowth is going to have to say.
Meowth, that's right.
I totally tortured him before I... Never mind. Let's go. Keep going.
There's going to be a Settlers of Catan movie.
Okay.
No! Stop!
I'm excited for when they get The Longest Road.
Gosh.
I can't imagine what that... at least Battleship, there's some sort of competition.
Yeah. Gosh. Largest army, you warmonger!
Man, I don't know.
How?
I don't get it.
How?
Or they're going to make some people mine for ore.
Yeah.
When's there going to be a Civ 5?
So many rejected trade offers. I'll give you all of my sheep. Oh no.
It's a terrible idea.
Civ 5 movie coming soon.
The Phantom Thread is officially the name of the Paul Thomas Anderson, Daniel Day-Lewis movie.
Okay, like the Phantom
Pain. Final Daniel Day movie.
That's according to Daniel Day-Lewis.
So his word is as good as gold.
Mm-hmm. Unless he's just doing his character.
Oil!
All right. Moving on.
Hey, what do you drink? What's your favorite drink?
Yeah,
besides core hydration.
Maybe it's not near you right now.
I drink your milkshake. If you have a milkshake, and I have a milkshake, and I have a straw, there it is, watch it. And my straw reaches across the room and starts doing your milkshake. I drink your milkshake. I drink it up. Stop bullying me.
Trey, turn off that YouTube video. We're trying to do a podcast. He's just over there watching a movie.
Gosh.
Just like Austin playing
we
games.
know you love movies.
Netflix is going to spend $8 billion in 2018.
$8 billion?
Making TV shows and movies.
Good God.
It's going to be 80 original movies, apparently.
So that's what, 6 a month? 7 a month?
Something like that. Yeah. 6 a month. 6.5 a month.
And they're all going to be good.
I think a lot of them, they're
lower budget.
they're just buy movies. So they'll go to Sundance and they'll buy and just be distributors.
And
they're
the
movies.
Like Draft House. Alamo Draft House has like a so-and-so. It's like, or A24 was that before it started producing its own movies.
And we talked about that last week. I think they're trying to help movies that are kind of stuck in production or don't have enough funding and stuff like that. Yeah.
But they're also going to throw a lot of money behind their own original sort of content.
Mm-hmm. Content is king, Adam.
It is. Yeah. You got to have content.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm for it. I'm for like giving our like filmmakers like total creative freedom, which is what they're doing. But at the same token, when you're producing so much stuff, it's like I just feel like there's good stuff that's getting lost in the weeds.
Yep.
Or just like I will lose interest in Netflix products when so many of them are just bad.
Yeah, or they're instead of paying higher contracts to other, distribution companies, so they'll, whatever they lose Disney, which is happening because Disney's making its own thing, and a lot of people are going to make their own things. But instead of having a big selection, then it could eventually just be, hey, here's a bunch of Netflix stuff, which would be kind of weird to be like, hey, let's just watch only Paramount movies. I'm a big Paramount fan.
Yeah.
Upcoming movies this week. It's pretty bad. Geostorm.
Yeah, it looks like shit. That's going to make more money than... Let's play a game. Will it or will it not make more money than Blade Runner 2048?
It will.
2049, yeah.
It total will. Or next week?
I think next week will be more fun. Yeah, next week.
It's you can really only compare opening weekends. Otherwise, we would have to remember this debate.
That's what I'm saying.
It will. It will.
Opening weekend, it'll make more.
Geostorm will make more than $30 million?
Yeah.
Not a chance.
It's
Annabelle Creation made how much?
Weekend. It's Halloween week. People want to see something scary.
Scary
and
like
what's
weather?
Scarier than global warming?
Think about
Adam.
The perfect storm. The day after tomorrow.
Here's a better one. The Snowman.
Wait, this hasn't come out yet?
Yeah, the Snowman's coming out.
Why is Fassbender doing this?
Fassbender's.
The trailer looks good. I know all the reviews have been god-awful for it, but the trailer's not a bad trailer.
We already have Jack Frost. We don't need the Snowman.
Right, of course. How foolish.
Yeah, I know.
But the Snowman's going to make more... This is what we're going to do. This is the game that I came up with. And then Only the Brave, which is the firefighter movie with Miles Teller and I think Kurt Russell.
Firefighter?
Miles Teller's tapping into that Politico movie thing.
It's not Thank You for Your Service.
Wait, Miles Teller is in Only the Brave and Thank You for Your Service?
Yeah, he's hitting
tapping
a
in
market.
on that market.
Tapping in that
he's like the Mark Wahlberg
man.
of disaster movies.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's about the hot shots who, ended up getting killed in a fire. So this new game that I have, what movie makes the most at the box office?
Geostorm.
Okay, Spencer says Geostorm.
I'm going to say The Snowman, just because it's horror, and then we're getting to Halloween. What is there any other movies you haven't mentioned yet?
Nope, those are the three that I have.
Okay.
Is it between those or just overall?
No, so if you want to pick, Blade Runner or another week of Happy Death Day, you can do that.
Oh, you know what? I might pick another week of Happy Death Day.
Okay. So
yeah.
I'm going to do Only the Brave.
Okay.
I'll stick with Geostorm.
So I figure we'll start doing that. We'll guess what the highest grossing movie every week will be, and then we keep a count, and whoever has the most at the end gets some sort of prize.
Okay. Or the loser has to punishment.
That works too.
Yeah, I like bet payoffs.
Oh, boy.
Or the two losers have to do something.
When does this contest end?
End of the year.
End of the year, I would say.
Okay.
And then we start again in 2017.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right. I like this too. I like bits and bets and all that.
Should we and the next year we could look at the releases? Maybe it wouldn't work, but just try to guess the highest grossing film of the whole year at the beginning of the year.
And I guess like when Star Wars comes out, can we all guess Star Wars? Because that's obviously going to be Star Wars.
Well, that's part of the game.
Your call. Do you
might be something else.
Do you think the Han Solo standalone will gross more than, I don't know, I'm guessing one of these Avatars will come out one of these years.
One of these days. Do you think Avatar's a good idea to keep making those, even though...
Well, I didn't see the first one, so...
We're missing much.
So if that's any sort of measure for potential success, I'd say heck no.
No, I don't know. I mean, it didn't move the needle to me anyway. And I'm
sure moved the needle on Jordan Cameron or
James
Cameron. I'm on a movie podcast and I don't know that guy. James Cameron's pocketbook.
It did. Yeah, it made him a lot of money. A lot of money.
Hey, you guys, it's October. That means it's Spooktober.
Ooh.
We're going to be doing some spooky movie talk.
Yeah. So
Spooky.
So send your kids to bed. This is adults only sessions.
This is all the spooks.
All the
scares.
movies with the scary skeletons and Frankensteins and the spooky vampire.
Hey, don't forget the jack-o'-lanterns.
Don't forget the werewolves.
I wish I could. It's burned in my memory.
Don't forget the werewolves.
So you guys, horror movies.
Horror movies.
I don't watch them. I never have.
Yeah?
It's been... You hear actors talk about it, and they're like, the reason I did this movie is because I think all of us like to be scared a little bit. It's like, no, I don't. I don't like to be scared. Why would I want that? There's just so many other things that I would rather have in a movie. So I've never seen a Freddy or Jason movie. I've never seen a lot of stuff. So a lot of the horror movies I've seen would be Hitchcock or things like that.
Films.
Actual films with
Right.
substance, not this popcorn trash.
I feel like I watched horror movies when I was in like middle school
or high school, yeah.
maybe, but those even are like I saw like The Fog,
Yeah.
and stuff that's totally forgettable and not good.
And I was coming to a sort of similar realization. I do like scary movies. I can I can enjoy being scared in a movie, but it's never something that I want to revisit. They're not rewatchable for me. So as I'm going through and trying to put together 10, I haven't seen very many scary movies more than once. So how am I going to put it on a favorites list if I saw it the one time and decided that was fine?
Yeah, for me, I do like horror movies, but I don't necessarily like them for the scare factor. I like it more for the
getting close to some honeys.
Yeah, some of them boobies.
Yeah, you like go and they get scared and they grab onto you,
cuddle up, and they're not scared anymore. Except for
we introed this Spooktacular and then immediately don't really like scary movies all that much.
I like the horror films that have a lot of makeup effects. I like the production side of the horror. I like to see something weird or creepy. Not much really. This is gonna sound like a haughty comment, but not many horror movies scare me. I don't.
I don't get
really
scared.
Scary.
Sure, Trey.
Your toxic masculinity is choking me right now. I don't show emotions.
Yeah, I'm emotionless. I should be in that Mindhunter because I don't have real emotions.
The only movies that scare me are rom-coms.
I'm scared of commitment.
Yeah.
I think the things that scare me the most are more of the occult movies. Like The Exorcist scares the shit out of me. The Witch scares the shit out of me.
At the VVITCH?
The Witch?
Yeah, there was a movie that came out sort of recently called The Witch, but it was that double V.
Yeah. That movie scared me. And honestly, the movies that scare me aren't necessarily, I wouldn't consider them my favorite scary movies. You know, I like kind of more of the comedically gory movies or something that's sort of more kind of delves into the kind of psychosis of people horror. Yeah. The horror of the mind, Adam, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's I don't necessarily like your your just jump scare movies that you get nowadays.
Right.
But if it's a good horror movie like The Babadook, is an amazing horror movie. Yeah, and it has a point to it, and it's saying something, and I dig it. So I guess I do like horror movies. I'm not going. I'm very selective, I guess, of what horror movies I like, and they don't necessarily scare me. I just enjoy them for other reasons.
All right, so we each did a top 10 list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so let's round robin it, where we start at number 10 and work our way up.
Did we want to kind of talk about how? Oh, sorry, Spencer. Go on.
Should we all at once say our favorite? See if we share.
Okay.
Our favorite.
I think Adam and I share a favorite.
I think so too.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm still trying to really make sure I'm comfortable with what I'm saying is my favorite. All right, I think I'm ready.
Okay, ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
The Shining.
Oh!
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom.
There is no controversy in this podcast. All of us are the same wavelength. That makes for an exciting podcast.
So The Shining, you have the Jack Nicholson stuff, which is more of the psychological stuff that you were talking about, and then there's also there's spooky twins. There's
spooky
blood that comes out of the elevator. You have Scatman Crothers giving a half-assed rescue attempt
and not scatting.
No,
yeah.
It's a really solid movie, and this was one of, I think this was either second or third on my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah,
so good.
It's very good.
Yes,
Kubrick is a great director. I love anything Stanley Kubrick does, and there's so much, so many scenes of just shots and not necessarily any dialogue. It's just the scenes of Nicholas just staring into the camera, and then the music swells, and just cool imagery, and it's very well done, and just his madness in the hotel, and the whole ambiguous ending of like what was everything, what even happened there? Were these ghosts? Was he a part of the hotel the whole time? That picture at the end, you don't really know, and it's never explained. And Room 23, is that the documentary that came out?
237.
237. I'm sorry. Room 237 was like this documentary. It wasn't necessarily a documentary. It was more of just people's interpretation of the movie.
Yep.
And it was interesting in the way that it wasn't interesting in the way that this is what the movie is about. It was more interesting in the way that people can interpret a movie so many different ways. And that's just kind of how Kubrick, constructs his movies. Is they're just very, very in depth. There's a lot of layers to them. They're like onions.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
All right. So are we going to do the same thing for number 2?
Oh man, what's my number 2?
Wait, you just have a collection of
loose
I told you, movies?
I had a hard time quantifying or really ranking. All right, I'll say this is my number 2. I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, we're gonna do the countdown.
Yep.
3,
okay,
2, 1. The
Silence
Descent.
of the Lambs.
Descent for you?
Yeah.
Alien. I said Alien.
I said Silence of the Lambs.
Okay.
Silence of the Lambs is up there for me too.
I need to rewatch Silence of the Lambs because I liked it, but I didn't think it was incredible when I saw it.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, I need to rewatch it because I like 7, and I liked Hannibal Lecter's a great character, and Buffalo Bill and all that stuff is great. I just probably should rewatch it. I saw that a long time ago. I wasn't that impressed. Tell me, what I mean?
You should
just,
watch it again.
Yeah, it was just one of those things like, oh, that was it.
A rewatch.
Okay,
Well,
so I probably should rewatch it.
Yeah, there's just so many moments. So Anthony Hopkins is barely in it at all.
Yeah, barely in
and
it.
he won supporting actor Oscar for it. So every second he's in, even though I think it's only 18 minutes, is awesome.
No, I don't deny that.
I think
he was amazing.
Jodie Foster is really, really cool and good in it. And then there's so many good scenes, just either from just being memorable. Just would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. The scene where they have the.
Now we have you saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have the night vision glasses at the end. That's one of the coolest horror moments that I have. Even though a lot of people don't consider it a horror movie, they consider it a drama thriller.
Yeah, we had a whole kind of talk back and forth today about that, and we'll probably get into it after, right?
Yeah, but we'll talk a little bit about what makes a horror movie.
Yeah.
So Spencer, go ahead and talk about Descent.
The Descent. So this is a movie about a group of female spelunkers.
I remember this movie.
Who go diving into this cave.
Mm-hmm.
Is this James Cameron as well?
No, that is
Which
The
one is
Descent. That's the what's that called?
Abyss.
The Abyss.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is not underwater, where the Abyss is a lot underwater, isn't it? Or maybe I'm thinking of another one he did. Either way, The Descent is a group.
I'm thinking of Titanic.
Oh, the Titanic.
That one's definitely
the
underwater.
Titanic.
Yeah.
Yes. I know the Descent. Female spelunkers. They go down into this cave, get trapped. Only one way out is to keep on going through the cave. As they get down there, they start to see things and encounter these creatures who have adapted to the darkness. So it really plays with your fear of darkness and claustrophobia.
Yeah, very claustrophobic.
And for the longest time, it's just been I can get some jump scares and stuff, but as far as movies like truly scaring me, that's definitely been up there for a long time.
Okay.
And Trey, you have Alien.
Alien, yeah, just a great sci-fi / horror movie. Really suspenseful, cool alien. I enjoy the whole Alien franchise. Well, maybe not. I enjoy Alien and Aliens a lot. Mm-hmm. And when I was doing this, it was funny because I was like researching kind of just horror movies from the years. They put Aliens as horror as well.
Right.
And it's like, well, that's more of an action movie, but okay.
Yeah.
Alien is just a great sci-fi horror movie.
Alien was my number 6.
Okay. Cool.
All right, number 3.
Are we doing countdowns?
Let's not do countdown. You can't really even hear each other say it.
It's fun.
All right, whatever. We can do it.
3, 2, 1.
The
Silence of the Lambs.
Okay.
All right, so we did Silence of the Lambs, which we already had. And what did you
Exorcist.
do? Exorcist?
That was like the first movie I remember terrifying me.
Yeah.
Or at least the first one in high school, I remember like that legitimately scared me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the pops of Satan, like the Satan imagery like popping up every now and then. It was just the girl, and it was everything about that movie just scared the shit out of me.
Why are you so afraid of the devil?
I don't know. The devil occult stuff scares me. Like, but I like it too. I enjoy it, but it still scares the shit out of me. Like The Witch terrified me. Mm-hmm. Like that was scary, and not like I can't watch scary, but like I am uneasy. I'm just gonna sit here and watch this. This is not great, but it's like it's just scary. It's So that really scared the shit out of me. Yeah. The Exorcist did.
I did Jaws. Jaws is great. It's terrifying in a way that is not used a ton. Showing less, less rather than more, and based around, a whole lot of music cues, and
that's another one where I never think of it as a horror movie, but I guess it is. It's a monster movie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, scariest part about that movie to me is the idea of that beach getting closed.
Yeah. During the busy season.
Are you kidding me?
The hell, what's going on?
Gotta keep it open. Also, the shark eating all those poor license plates. Just imagine there could be a hilarious vanity plate in there that would have never been seen.
That would have been a loss to us all.
They cut the shark open, the wrong shark, and it pours out, and it says like SPR Dad.
Super Dad. R.I.P.
Super Shark.
All right, number 4.
Oh gosh, hang on, give me a second. Okay, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
The Fly.
Dead Alive.
What'd you say?
Dead Alive.
Okay, I like Dead Alive a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Dead Alive.
Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
I was thinking about putting it on my list too. I just did, but I enjoy Peter Jackson's work a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just, like I said, going back and kind of considering movies that I watched and rewatched, and that's one of the only ones. Mm-hmm. Partially because it's a little bit of it's pretty self-aware. A little bit of
it's silly, and it's just overly gory, and not in a torture porn kind of way, but more just like we're gonna use all this gelatin and just splatter it everywhere.
It's how it was. I feel like it was kind of one of the first movies. It's like not in a torturous way, but like how can we creatively kill hundreds of zombies?
Yeah. I like those movies a lot. His movies. Sorry, I didn't mean to take your spot there.
You segued into me talking about it. Yeah, okay. It's fun. It's inventive, and I think it Might still hold the record for the most fake blood used for a single movie.
Definitely. The Fly is another one, because you could call that a science fiction movie. I guess you can't say it's science fiction, but it's also terrifying. And it's I really like body horror, which you're going to see in the next two.
Yeah.
This one and the next one is, I really like body horror, and The Fly is a masterwork in body horror and makeup. And I always say, like, if I didn't, in another life, I would be a horror makeup person, because I always loved horror makeup and prosthetics and, making monsters and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Cool. I did Psycho. Psycho is like classic Hitchcock thing, and like whatever. You're gonna beat the Bates.
No, yes, you can't. No,
you're not going to.
It's it's one of those first movies, like those old movies that really hold up today. Like you can kind of, because it's funny, because I'll look at those lists and I'll go from decade, and it's like, okay, it's 50s nothing, then it's like 30s nothing, 40s nothing, 50s nothing, 60s Psycho. Okay, yeah, Psycho is great.
Yeah, Psycho's great, movies. And also the way that it starts off. You're basically thinking it's a totally different movie, and it's kind of centered around something else. And then you get like 20, 25, 30 minutes into the movie, and then that's when the actual movie starts, which I think is really cool. And I think that a big thing about horror is just subverting expectations and doing that. And I think that Hitchcock did that as well as anybody.
Yeah, that's another thing. As I was putting my list together, is trying to think of movies that, just jogging my memory. Movies like that, several other movies, I just haven't seen them. Not for any reason, but I feel like as soon as I do watch them, they would instantly jump into my list just based on their reputation. I just need to actually watch them.
All right. Number 5?
3,
2,
1.
The Thing.
Get 28 Days Later.
Okay.
That's another one that would be on my list, I would imagine.
That was one where
I watch it.
I need to rewatch that, because I saw that so long ago. I wanted to put it up there, but I'm like, I don't remember enough of it to put it up there.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's zombies, which is a lot of fun, and it almost feels weird where it's in a horror. It's there's almost constantly the person that is pursuing or chasing them or whatever. And really, it's kind of about these people and how they live when the world is falling apart around them.
It's sort of in that Walking Dead or The Last of Us.
It's less that than like The Walking Dead.
Okay.
At least in how The Walking Dead is supposed to be. And initially it was. But there's just so much good stuff and so many good scenes. And I just remember watching that a ton of times with Austin and David at David's house in high school. So it's got good memories tied for me.
Good.
Yeah.
And it has the guy who played Scarecrow.
Yeah, he's good
in it.
He's in a lot of Terry Gilliam's movies.
It's not.
Is it Terry Gilliam?
I think it's Danny Boyle.
Danny Boyle. I get those two confused. Terry Gilliam, Danny Boyle. Yeah, he's in a lot of Danny Boyle's movies. I think I forgot to put something on my list, but I'm going to just switch one over. Go on. Go ahead, Spencer.
I said, which number are we on? 5?
5.
Yeah.
5, I said Get Out.
Okay.
Which, again, might be a recency thing, but really loved it. It was a pretty good mix of actual things that are actually scary, like scares and horror and suspense, but there was good comedy mixed into it. And I just thought, it was one of those movies where I just watched it. I couldn't really find anything that I disliked about it. So we'll see how it stands up with me over time, but time being, it's definitely on my list.
It's one of the highest grossing films this year, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
That's my number 10.
It is? Okay.
Spoiler.
Oh.
Well, I'm just not going to say it then.
Oh yeah, change it up.
I'm always hesitant about putting like things I've seen much recently on lists. But I could see why. I mean, it was a good movie.
Yeah. I definitely understand that, but it's also, you don't want to exclude something.
It's your list. You do whatever you want.
Deserves a spot.
Yeah, exactly. I put The Thing in sort of the same
body horror.
Yeah, same thing with The Fly. Just really good body horror. The setting is really interesting in the Antarctica, and sort of the paranoia everyone has about who's the alien, and again, the effects and the body horror is really, really impressive. And it's still kind of impressive to this day. Like thinking about if they did the Akira movie, I watched that and I was thinking about like the Akira movie and that whole scene at the end. Like, could they do that with effects like they did in The Thing? Like, could they do that? Maybe, you know. So, really good testament to like practical effects and makeup in that movie.
All right. Mm-hmm. For the last ones, let's just read off our bottom 5, just kind of in a row. My 6 is Alien, 7 Blair Witch Project, which is a really good horror movie, and
it is.
It kind of started the whole found footage, and now everything's found footage for horror movies, but it's great. Saw, which I really enjoy the original Saw. I think it's smart, and also it kind of works in the same way, in a similar way to Jaws, where they kind of don't show a lot of stuff because they don't have any money, and it eventually became the biggest horror franchise ever. Rosemary's Baby, which is super spooky, and then I have Misery.
Okay, yeah,
I'll have it number 10 instead of Get Out.
I'll allow you to have Get Out on your list. I'll loan it to you.
I just want to talk about Misery's like super creepy.
Yeah.
And
now I'm gonna have to knock Misery off my list.
Oh well, fine.
I'll go. 6. Let's go ahead and say 6 is Let the Right One In.
Okay, yeah, that's
Swedish,
a really good one.
Yeah.
Swedish vampire movie, slightly different take.
That's
on
actually
it.
On my list too. Oh, it's like I think it's off a little bit, but yeah. Keep going.
I loved that movie. I thought the characters were fantastic, and any sort of horror movie like that can pull like an actual emotional response is pretty great. From there, I have Alien. So that's 7. Pan's Labyrinth, 8.
Is that horror or fantasy?
I'd say it's a fantasy horror because
I'd say dark fantasy.
This is where we can start getting into the debate. But a lot of the memorable emotional responses you get out of that are fear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for me that qualifies.
Okay.
That was 8.
Yeah.
9. I'm going to say a more recent one, The Visit, M. Night Shyamalan.
Shamalama Ding Dong.
Starting his comeback. If you haven't seen that, it's about 2 kids who go to stay at their grandparents, and just grandparents are acting real weird. And then 10, I had the Saw franchise, just by virtue of, again, movies that I've watched and rewatched. The impact that had on like my middle school and high school years, like getting hyped for the new one coming out in the theaters, even though they're stupid and just
nostalgia thing,
gore for the sake of gore. The first one was, I thought, a legitimately clever movie.
Yeah. And
then after that, there's still some clever twists and turns, but it's just kind of cool to see. It was cool to see the different ways that they hurt people.
Yeah, and I mean, people are like, why are they making more Saw movies? Like, it's just hot. Well, they did that with Freddy Krueger and Jason and all those. Yeah.
That's the genre.
Yeah, it's the genre.
You just make a ton of them because people will go out and see them.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I put, I guess, number 6, Cabin in the Woods. That was the kind of the more, what would you call it? Not satirical, but
meta horror.
Yeah, meta horror. It's satirical meta horror.
Yeah, meta for sure.
Kind of explored the genre.
Yeah,
then I put
all the tropes.
Then I put Evil Dead 2. Yeah, just again with kind of the over the top gore and the comedic aspect, and it's great. Then I put the Babadook as, I guess that's number 8.
You got a Babadook impression?
No. Number 9.
Babadook. Babadook.
Babadook.
All right.
Then I put the Poltergeist as number 9. That might be the earliest movie that scared me. I think
that's one that I haven't seen, but I know is supposed to be great.
It's very good. It's very scary. And then I guess number 10, I'll move let the right one in because I forgot to put the original Dawn of the Dead. I need to put that in there. Go. That's great. Cool. Yeah. So.
Okay, so when we were doing this, we were kind of talking about like, oh, hey, is this movie considered horror? Is this thriller? Is this how are movies classified? And some people will say that Silence of the Lambs is the only horror movie to ever win an Oscar. And
even still, so my question is there such thing as just a horror movie? Because I feel like horror is such a large umbrella that you have to like almost subclassify things.
I think it is the largest genre as far as many subgenres, because you have slasher, you have monster, you have vampire, you have psychological horror, you have science fiction horror, you have body horror, you have comedic horror. There's so many different kinds of horror that it's very hard to classify, I think, movies.
Yeah, because when most of the time, I think when people are talking about horror movies, they think of the Friday the 13th, and Jason, and
Halloween,
all that stuff, and those are all slasher horror,
mm-hmm. Right?
Where nothing is just horror. So
If you look it up on Wikipedia, the number one source for everything, it says a horror film is a movie that seeks to elicit a physiological reaction, such as an elevated heartbeat through the use of fear and shocking one's audiences. I feel like that's way too broad.
Yeah.
Because
that could be thriller.
Anything. Because I don't know, I would consider like Dunkirk in that would kind of be considered a horror. The horror. So I looked up kind of a bunch of like articles kind of trying to talk about the differences, and one of the things that I came across, it says thrillers work with the world/situation as the viewer understands it. Horror films upend the viewer's world and present a world or situation that rejects normal conventions.
Okay.
So in which case,
Silence
something like Silence of the Lambs works, because the idea of a cannibal is so just backwards.
But it is our world, though. There are people who do that.
Right. Whereas, there's Freddy who goes into your dreams and tries to kill you, or there's a vampire.
So I think things can be, but that would almost mean that it has to be supernatural, which I disagree with, because there are plenty of like horror movies that are simply a murderer,
right? And
that exists in the world. It's just not something we deal with every day,
right? When a stranger calls, because there's a call coming from inside the house, and there's a murderer.
And Spencer's getting kicked out of the movie theater for bringing in a video camera.
Yeah, unbelievable. All right, so I have some movies, and I think you guys do as well, and we're going to vote on whether or not they are horror movies.
Let's do it.
Okay? Black Swan.
No.
It's psychological thriller. I think it's because, I don't know, because it's all happening in her head.
Maybe. it's when you think about it.
Right. I would say
yes.
I would consider that a horror movie.
Yeah, it's on the outskirts, but I'll allow it.
Okay.
I think you could call it a horror movie. I wouldn't disagree with you.
Okay. 12 Monkeys.
No, I would say that's sci-fi.
I would
agree. It's too sci-fi.
Because I think, all right, are apocalyptic movies horror movies? Is something like Mad Max a horror movie?
Something or like I Am Legend.
Yeah.
I think I would consider I Am Legend a horror movie.
Yeah. I would, because it's based on. It's like one of the original like vampire novels. Right. I'm not sure. It's a very
graphic novel, maybe.
No, it's a novel.
It's a real book. Yeah.
Okay.
Not that graphic novels aren't real books, but yeah.
Right.
But they're not.
Clockwork Orange.
I would say that's science fiction, because it's horrific the stuff he does, but it's not.
I think it's almost because he's the one. You don't have Jason movies from the perspective of Jason.
Yeah, it's kind of from his perspective, so it's almost like I don't know if you have this on your list.
It's like an anti-hero.
Yeah, I don't know if you have this on your list, but like American Psycho. It's sort of.
I wouldn't consider American Psycho a horror.
No, yeah, because that's like psychological thriller.
But at the same time, that is Silence of the Lambs. It's just a psychological thriller.
Right.
So that's the thing, it's almost just like a gut thing, or how do you perceive it?
Right. Yeah. That's another thing a lot of people were saying was it's like the Supreme Court on pornography. I know it when I see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Hell yeah.
Horror. That is horror.
original, of course.
They're killing kids.
There's no way of even knowing.
The actually yelling. Is it raining? Is it snowing?
And then when
is the ground reap for mowing?
Honestly, though, what scared me more than that when I would watch it as a kid was Augustus Gloop or what's his face getting sucked up that tube. He's not getting out of that. He's drowning in chocolate.
Mm-hmm. Yep, fat kid's just drowning in his own chocolate. And the blueberry girl, that scared me too, getting blown up like a blueberry.
Yeah.
That movie is horror, man.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Requiem for a Dream.
No, not a horror movie.
I would say no.
No, I mean, you could make a good case because it is the horrors of drug abuse.
Yeah, but then that opens up like every Vietnam War movie.
Yep.
Yeah, true.
127 hours.
I've not seen that.
No. Too much.
Was that the rock one?
Yeah. That's where
A Rock and a Hard Place.
I wouldn't say. I think that's a thriller because that's not there. It's a survival movie. He's trying to survive.
Yeah.
That's
which is
horror. Yeah. I think
that one's not even close to me though.
No. Yeah.
Because it ends way too overwhelmingly positive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Like it.
I'll put it on the kiddie horror.
I feel like that's
horror for kids.
I feel like that's not even necessarily that different from what you would consider to be.
If you consider Jaws a horror movie, then Jurassic Park's a horror movie.
Yeah, it's just a monster movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. They're just dinosaurs in it.
I think.
I think the thing that makes Jurassic Park questionable is the fact that there's like, well, actually, I don't even remember. Are there good dinosaurs in Jurassic Park?
I mean,
there is
like
in the new one.
In the new one.
I mean, there's like good dinosaurs that they don't hurt you, but yeah.
Right. So it's like once you get the good ones, it starts playing with your mind. Like, no, if there was just like the T-Rex coming in, effing people up, then it would be less questionable.
And then the last one I have here, I have like It's a Wonderful Life, which I did kind of put as a joke. Zodiac.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. That last scene in Zodiac is probably about as scary as
where he's in the basement.
Right.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was
as anything.
But that was suspense because there wasn't a payoff ever. It was more of just like his own psychosis.
Yeah.
By the way, the Mindhunter, I felt the main character felt very much like Jake Gyllenhaal in Zodiac.
Yeah. I mean, it's Fincher, so it's
exactly
kind of doing the same thing, just a different take on.
I think Zodiac is more about that guy's paranoia and the guy's obsession, and it was suspenseful. It wasn't. You never saw anything horrific though happen.
Yeah.
With that situation.
Right. Okay. Did you guys have any that you thought of?
Yeah. I always think of Donnie Darko. Is that horror?
I think that's straight up sci-fi for me.
Yeah. Because I think there's a difference between horror movies and Halloween movies. And I always think of Donnie Darko as a Halloween movie.
Right.
Yeah. And something like Beetlejuice or Hocus Pocus. They aren't necessarily scary, but they're kind of Halloween movies.
Yeah.
Horror Halloween movies.
Yeah.
We even talked about Shaun of the Dead, where that's more comedic.
Which I think is considered horror in pretty much everywhere I look. It's considered horror, and I don't know if I don't know. Like it's...
Yeah, it's if you allow comedy horror to exist as its own subgenre of
then you have
horror.
Peter Jackson movies, which are the early Peter Jackson movies, which are comedic horror, and you have Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. Those are comedic horror. You have plenty of comedic horror.
Yeah, like I wouldn't fault anyone for saying that's a horror movie, as long as you just know that. I mean, horror doesn't necessarily have to mean like truly scary.
Yeah,
right.
But just plays with the elements of the genre, basically.
Would you consider Seven a horror movie?
Yeah,
I think I would.
My kind of rule of thumb is I can't consider Silence of the Lambs a horror movie. If I have to consider Seven also.
Right.
If I consider Silence of the Lambs, and Silence of the Lambs definitely is horror to me.
Okay. Yeah, I'd have to say that too. If Silence of the Lambs is, then Seven definitely is. Because I think Seven is more disturbing than Silence of the Lambs. Kind of.
I think you got to rewatch.
Yeah,
maybe I probably need
you do.
I need to rewatch that movie.
Yeah, you do.
Because I said that, then I'm like, wait a minute, the whole put the dog in the basket and then the date. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, no, that's pretty disturbing.
They play with just the psychological, crazy people are portrayed very crazy and believable.
Aliens. Would you consider that horror?
I've never seen Aliens.
No, I would consider that sci-fi.
I would consider it sci-fi action, yeah. The Alien is horror, not Aliens. Aliens is action sci-fi.
Yes.
Let me see what else I got here. I'm like kind of more of the action zombie movies though. Like I don't know, what was the one that came out a while ago that's based on the book?
World War Z?
Yeah, World War Z. Would that be horror or action?
I mean, it's zombies, so it is in the genre, but it's heavier on the action to me.
What about American Werewolf in London?
Yeah, it's a horror movie.
Horror? Because it's also comedy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that is a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of tough calls.
Yeah.
If you have a monster in it, I think it automatically boosts it.
Yeah.
If there's some sort of spooky or supernatural thing, I think it pushes it more towards horror.
Yeah.
What about Nightmare Before Christmas?
No.
Or is that a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie?
That's another podcast, my friend.
Do you have anything else?
10 Cloverfield Lane.
Okay.
Horror movie. For sure.
That's
I think for sure that is.
Yeah.
John Goodman's so good in that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of those. I had several movies that are kind of, again, it's just like recents that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
That was like one of those kind of on the cusp of.
You made me just think of one. No Country for Old Men.
No.
No, even though it's a monster movie. He's chasing him. He's going to kill him. He's chasing a man.
Yeah, but that means that it's a Western. It's a more modern.
Is it a Western though?
Yeah.
I had a debate I took a Western class. I had a debate with my professor and she said it wasn't a Western.
It's a Western.
I told her it was a Western.
What
I
does
slapped
she
her
know?
in the face. Said it's a fucking Western. I didn't really do that. I was very respectful.
Well, that's very nice.
Yeah, that's like
you were like, it's a Western. She was like, no, it's not. And you're like, oh, I'm sorry.
That's. I mean, I would.
No.
I would feel. What's her reasoning for it not being a Western?
I think because it was more of a monster movie. There was like a Javier Bardem played a monster, and I think also just didn't have certain tropes that a Western would have. I kind of forgot her whole thing. I wrote a paper on it, but I forgot her whole kind of reasoning.
She give you an A?
I got like a C on it, bro.
Oh.
I know.
Retaliation.
Yeah.
Take that to the Board of Regents.
Look, what I got a podcast now. What do you have? 10-year? Ha!
Ha!
Anyway, anything else?
Unless you have anything.
No, that about covers it.
Well, all right. Happy Halloween. We're going to review a scary movie next week. What scary movie should we review?
Can we watch the inauguration of Donald Trump?
Oh, there we go.
Whoa! Wow!
Jeez. It's time for Twitter questions. Then we can get the hell out of here.
Let's do it.
I hate these stupid
Pog.
podcasts.
Pog.
I don't get it. Chris the Fields writes, "Hey guys,
Hey Chris,
is watching a trailer a spoiler for a movie? How can audiences avoid these problems?"
Don't watch
so
trailers.
kind of talk about the Star Wars trailer.
Yeah. In the case of Star Wars, if the director of the movie says, "Hey guys, if you don't want the movie to be ruined, don't watch this trailer," then don't do it.
Yeah.
I think that like directors are very kind of protective of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And if there's something that they think is going to give away too much, they're basically going to say it. If they're big enough, I guess smaller movies, they don't probably have as much control or.
And also, there's not a whole fan base on something smaller,
right?
And unless you're a bigger director, you don't have much say on what the trailer looks like either. You know. I mean,
I'm sure it depends. I'm sure you do to an extent.
I'm sure, like
earlier
Tarantino
on,
does.
Well, yeah. But I'm saying, like, if it's a small indie movie, then you're going to be in control of everything. If you're on a mid-level movie, that the studio's pushing, and they say, oh, well, we need a bunch of hits on this trailer because we show that this number of impressions leads to this ticket sales.
Let's make your analogy of the Bible a horror movie. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, exactly.
I definitely avoid trailers for certain movies, like The Disaster Artist. I won't watch the trailer because, I mean, I'm already sold on the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to watch it. I want to see it start to finish completely fresh. I don't want to really have anything spoiled. I'm
kind of more like that with video game trailers. Like, I don't need to see, after I've seen a little bit, I don't need any more. Like Mario Odyssey, I don't need to see anything else. That's in 10 days.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Lexi, some girl named Lexi, I don't know who she is. She
sounds
writes,
cute.
Yeah, she's a cute one. She writes, what's your favorite movie you've... I hate this podcast so much.
What is it?
It's so much better when Austin's just playing Stardew Valley. He doesn't laugh at me.
It's just, I don't know. It just keeps happening.
Read on, Trey.
She says, what's the first movie you ever remember really scaring you?
I think I know.
I mean, probably like Chucky. My dad is super into horror movies.
Chucky,
Like grew up, loved Frankenstein and Dracula and all that stuff. So he had us watching horror movies pretty young.
At a young age.
So that's the first one I can remember watching with my dad. So that one probably terrified me.
For me, it's the movie We're Back with the cartoon dinosaurs.
Yeah.
When they go and they become bad.
Yeah.
That freaked me out.
Yeah.
I did not like that.
Yeah. Where he got, and then the villain got pecked by a bunch of crows.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. I might be mine too. You might be there.
I'd have to look at some of the release. Well, We're Back came out in like before I was born, I think.
Yeah. No, it came out. It didn't come out before you were born.
I think it came out just surprisingly early.
I mean, you're 3 years younger than me. I watched
I'm
it when I was
92.
like 8 or 7. You look it up.
I'm looking at
it. I was trying to think. I'm like, I remember there's a vampire movie I saw with my sister that scared me when I was a kid on
Vampire Dog?
TV. No, it was like a weird one. It was really realistic, and the vampire was really ugly, and it died at the end.
Nosferatu?
It wasn't Nosferatu. It was in color.
1993.
1993.
So
Okay.
Year after I was born.
Yeah. I remember watching that. Yeah, that scared the shit out of me. When they changed the mean dinosaurs and all the like weird kids and
man,
and the monkey like suits and
I was not having it.
Yeah, and the screw in his eye.
Oh yeah, the screw in his eye.
Stop it!
Yeah.
Oh god, I hate it.
And he's
he was a nice dinosaur the whole time, and that kid was there, and he saw him, and he was gonna
we got to move on.
Just this creepiest thing where it's like all quiet. He's like, oh, I don't want to be alone. Oh, the crows. I love you, my friends, the crows. What's that? It's just like, whoosh. And then they fall apart. And he's like a scarecrow like that, like Jesus. And then they'll fly apart. And then the little screw falls on the ground. They ate his penis.
Jay Leno played the role of Vorb in that movie.
How do you spell that?
VORB.
Yep. We need to review that movie. We need to review that. We'll review that next week for a horror movie.
The scariest movie.
Yes, We're Back.
Today we're reviewing We're Back.
Get back to that. Isn't that John Goodman doing it?
Yeah, John Goodman's the main
He was
dude.
the T-Rex, and he sang a really cool song about Turn Back the Clock.
Walter Cronkite played Captain New Eyes.
Oh.
Interesting.
Interesting.
More
Perry Dactyl asks, is it disappointing that Blade Runner 2049 didn't do so well in the box office?
Oh, yup.
I mean, I think I touched on this last week. Not really. It was... I don't need another Blade Runner movie. And the fact that it didn't succeed financially doesn't take away from it being a fantastic movie. So I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that's... in that. If it was made to be a commercial success, then I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much.
Yeah.
So as far as that goes, it's not that disappointing. It is disappointing that more people don't have better taste in things or enjoy going to movies at all.
No, I'm with you on that. I think it's disappointing because, like you said, I think last week or 2 weeks ago that all these people are going to get at work again. You don't need to worry about what's the director's name? Villanueva's.
Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about him not getting another job. You're not gonna have to worry about the Roger Deakins not getting another job. They're all gonna be fine. You don't have to worry about Ryan Gosling finding work. I think you'll be all right. And so I think it's just disappointing that more people didn't go see it. More people didn't have patience. People just want to pan it, saying it's too long, and they'll go see. I don't want to. I mean, they'll go see a shitty horror movie this week. What's that new one that came, the Groundhog Day one, which I hear isn't terrible, but it just
honestly the idea sounds fun to me.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'll see it, but I thought
it looks all right enough. I bet you it looks all right, but that's a good date movie. It looks fun. I hear it's kind of self-aware too, which is good. It looks interesting. Anyway, thanks, Perry. Lexi asks, is core hydration water better than Aquafina? Why or why not?
It's got the perfect pH, so duh.
I'm gonna take the hard stance of Aquafina #1 bottled water brand
over a Dasani.
Does
Ozorka #1? I'm sorry.
Ozorka. Yeah. Wait, did you say Ozorka?
I can't say Ozorka very well.
No,
Ozarka.
Well, Ozorka. Name them all. Ozorka. Core hydration.
Aquafina.
Dasani. Do they come in aluminum cans?
No.
Point Aquafina.
What? Why?
Aquafina comes in aluminum can.
But why is that a plus?
Yeah. It's sounds like it's wasteful.
It'll keep better in my bunker.
That's fair.
Okay.
Can't argue.
Final question from Lexi. Do all dogs really go to heaven?
Nope. Charlie Sheen's going to hell.
No, there's bad dogs.
Yeah.
Bad dogs go to bad place.
Okay.
There's also
is that a good place reference?
It sure is, Trey.
In Greek mythology, Cerberus guards the gates of hell, and he is a dog.
Yeah. That's the one with the three headies?
Mm-hmm. Trey laughed because of the good place reference.
God, he's so pissed off. All 3.5 episodes in, and he's done with it.
All right. Well, that's the show.
This is your full cast signing off.
Goodbye.
It's called a road, it's called a rainbow road. It is a road that you go. It's a road, it's called a rainbow road. And we will know when you get there. It's called a road, it's called a rainbow road. It is a road that you go. It's a road that you go when you die. It's a road called Rainbow Road. It's a road we're all gonna go. It's a road called Rainbow Road. It's got Princess Peach, Mario, and Toad. It's a road called Rainbow Road. It's a road we're all gonna go. It's Rainbow Road. It's where you go when you die. It's Rainbow Road. I'm with you again, Uncle. It's Rainbow Road, it's where you go when you die. It's Rainbow Road. I miss you again, Uncle. Oh, Rainbow Road. Where did you learn the song? It's called a road, it's called a Rainbow Road. It is a road that you go. It's called a road, it's called a Rainbow Road.
What's that song?
And you will. Rainbow Road. I mean.